it's kind of bright. Dude, what's going on there? Hey, folks. What is going on here? This is way too schlangy. Okay, that's kind of bright. Wow, these are bright. Okay, bear with me. Oh, that's the one there. I didn't need those retinas. Woo. Hey, Faulkner Fixes All here. Okay, look at that. Beautiful. Okay, today, let's see, maybe this is better. Okay, so today we're going to fix this rim. And somebody went off-roading on a vintage Schwinn 3-speed and did a little jump. I don't know who would do something like that, but there was two broken spokes. And we found some more in my pile. Anyway, when you're off-roading vintage bikes, take it easy. Wear your helmet. Maybe bring some spokes with you on the trail. Anyway, so what we got is we got some issues. Yeah, let's get rid of that. With spokes missing, there's some wobble action. But we're going to fix that. Yeah. We're going to fix that. We're going to put these two spokes in, tighten it up, true it, and it's going to be much better. Now, there's a lot of different spoke wrenches you can use. There's this style, which is just for one or two sizes. There we go. Oh, I'm getting the hang of it. That's just for one or two sizes. This is for a 15, I think. And here's an actual gimmicky Schwinn approved one, which is for 15. Yeah, it works okay. It's a little loose. And then there's these style, which works on all kinds of different ones. And to tell you the truth, these are like $4 or $5. To tell you the truth, this style is better than any of these expensive ones. The slot is bigger. The business end of this is bigger, and it goes in more. You can really push on it. Now, I almost always only use the 15 size because that's 15 and 14 is what you use on old bikes. So on these, I just put a little red marker on there so I know, hey, that's the one. Don't go putting the big one on there and spinning it around and thinking you're doing something, So you gotta put it on the 15 if it's a 15. Usually Schwinns are usually a 15. So I just put a little mark on there so I know what's going on. Now, if you look at this one, I haven't used this one a lot. It's still good, but I've used this one extensively. And if you notice, there's a little rust mark where my thumb is always pushing against it. That's how so many years I've used this cheap spoke wrench. Now, there's nothing wrong with these. There's nothing wrong with these fancy ones. Oh, look, they even have a little Schwinn 19. Like there's a little Schwinn Centennial on there, just so you know how great you are. Anyway, yeah, this was probably $20 back in the day. You don't even need it. Get yourself one of these. It's fine. It works on all different kinds. The slots are deeper, goes in there. Okay, so let's talk about axles for a quick second, and then we'll jump in here. The reason I like to put the safety nuts on these, there's a nut that doesn't really go on there because Schwinn and Raleigh decided that they would knurl this part. See the knurling? So you could adjust your cones in, and that would be your cone adjustment for your hub. Now, what happens over time is the knurling goes away and it doesn't catch anymore. So you're riding and something loosens up and you ruin your bearings. So that's why I always put that extra, there's another nut you can put on here and cinch it down. And if you look right here, let's see. Yeah. I have both of those on there because I just don't play around with that self-tapering, self-knurling axle thing. If you have the nuts on there, put them. If you have them, put them on there. They're safe. They'll hold your cones from loosening up. Okay, so let's get you in here. I think we're pretty good here. Maybe I can get you closer. Let's see. Bear with me. Yeah, I'm not in the house today. I'm out here in the shop. It's about 90 degrees out here, and the humidity is 1,000,000. So yeah, I got my short sleeve Hawaiian work shirt on because I have to survive out here. Anyway, so all right, let's rotate it around. Okay, so there's a missing spoke, and let's get you in there. Hey, yeah, you guys can see. Okay, so we know that both of the spokes that somebody broke while they were off-roading are on this side of the rim. And I took one out that was broken, and I matched it up to these. And the ones I have to put in here are a little big, but I'll show you how to deal with that at the end. After you put it in, you can file the nub down a little bit so it's not poking your rim liner and giving you a flat. Okay, so we're going to put this spoke in. It's not double butted. Here is a spoke that's double butted. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah. See how it's big right here? Oh, yeah, and it's big. Yeah, okay. It's got a bigger part there that nicks down. That's called a butt. And then here where the spoke goes on, there's another step down. See it? Step down. And that's a butt. So this is an original double butted Schwinn spoke. So I only have one of these. So, my parts supply was a little lame. But I'll put one double butted spoke back in. And then we'll just dig around and we'll have to put another one in that's not double butted. But oh well, I'm sure somebody will comment and tell me that they have lots of spokes they'll give me or send me in the mail. Okay, so let's see. We'll look for the hole here. Okay, so there's a hole here. The light is not good today. Okay, there's a hole. Let's see. Can you see that? Yeah, you can kind of see that. There's a hole right there. Now, so it goes outy inny. So we can see that the spoke that broke right there is supposed to come through from this side and overlap and be one of these folded over spokes. So here we're going to go through. See if we can see that. Yeah, we're going through. Okay, so we made that and we know that's right. Now we're going to look at these, how these go. Oh, so these spokes on this outer ridge have 3 in between them. There we go. The spokes that you're aligning this to, when you follow these 2 up, there's 3 spokes in between. So you know that if you followed this spoke, I haven't replaced yet, 2, and then this hole, which would be 3. So let's go over that again. Here it is right here, these 2 going up on the outside. And there should be 3 spokes in between. And the reason you only see 2 is because there's another broken spoke there. We'll get to that, but we know that there's supposed to be 3 spoke holes in between this. So we'll put this one in. And it's good to put a little tiny dab of grease on the threads, just to make sure. And now my hand is greasy. I'm just a real winner today. Okay, so let's go over that again. Right. So there's that one there. 1, another spoke hole, 2, 3. And we're not going to tighten it up super tight. We're just putting it in now. Yeah. Okay, so there's still a missing spoke. And let's find where the hole is. There it is, right there. Let's see if I can point to it. Yes, right here. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. And on this one, it's also an innie. If it was an outie, oh, it is an outie. Yeah, it's an outie. See, the head of the spoke is facing out in this hole. That means you go this way through, like this, in that way. But when you do that, you have to miss these spokes back behind here. The second set back behind here. You have to miss that and go in the valley. And what I mean by the valley is like right here. You have to make sure, let's see. You have to make sure over here, you get that above that valley. Because if you go in between there, it's going to be stuck. You don't want to do that. Okay, so let's get back here. So this one, we found the hole. It's right there. And it's going to be an innie. An outie, I mean. So we slide it through, and we missed that other valley back here. And we got that. Okay, so it's in there, but it's hitting all these spokes up here. So we got to work it past these spokes to get to this hole. So to do that, we just slightly keep rolling through. Try not to scratch the rim or bend the spoke too much. Keep rolling through, and we're there. Now, let's make sure. That's the hole right there, no problem. So let's make sure there's two coming out. And there should be three. 1, 2, 3 to that one. Okay, we're good there. So if we were looking at one of these, which is also an innie, and this is the innie we're replacing. 1, 2, 3. 3 spokes in between, always 3 in between. So there's always, on this particular lace pattern, there's always 3 other spokes in between the 2 with like holes down here. Okay? So dab of grease and we'll tighten that one up. Grease is your friend. Okay. Put that through. And this spoke is not a double-butted spoke. It's just a normal replacement spoke, probably off of, some Montgomery Wards or Hawthorne or Sears or any of those other well-known, wonderful bikes from the 70s that fell apart when you looked at them. Anyway, the spokes were still good, though. Just because the bike was total junk doesn't mean the spokes and rims weren't decent that you couldn't reuse on other bikes. Okay, we're going to give that a little tighten. And it looks like this one is a little long. I can feel a little sharp edge coming up here, but we'll show you what to do in a second. I think once we true it up. Actually, we're going to put a little mark on here. So I know that I have to trim this spoke. I love these red Sharpies. They're good. So I know I gotta file that spoke or I'll puncture my inner tube. Okay, so now we're going to true it. We got the spokes in. We're going to true it up, and then we're going to file that little nub down. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, it's going to be difficult to get you on there. Kind of dusty out here too. Well, this might work. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, okay. You guys can kind of. Going to be awkward for me though. Okay, that's better. It's going to be really awkward for me, but I'll bear with it. I'll deal with it. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so we put those spokes in and it's warpy and it looks terrible. What are we going to do? Okay, we're going to adjust this in so that rubs a little bit. I guess the first thing we're going to do is work on the spokes on this side to keep this from rubbing over there. So we'll wait till it stops on the rubbing. Right there. All right, and that's probably the spokes we just put in. Let's look for a red mark. Yep, there they are. Okay, so we know we got to kick it this way. So you grab these spokes that are on this side of the hub and you tighten them up just a little bit. You don't need a lot. We're just trying to dial it in gently at this point. So clockwise is tightening it. We're going to tighten that. And hear that sound? That's the sound of a well-greased spoke doing what it's supposed to do. When you hear this sound, that's good. That means you're doing stuff, doing right stuff, stuff that is not stripping spokes or rusty. Sometimes the spokes are so rusty when you spin them, it just breaks the spoke. That's how it goes when you don't maintain your bike and you go off-roading. Anyway, so that's a good sound when you hear that. That means all is well in spoke land. Things are tightening. The rim is shoving over. Okay, we're going to grab this next one, which is also on this side of the hub because we want the rim to go that way. And we're going to tighten it up clockwise. A nice new grease in there. Doing its thing. That's all you need to know. Okay, so we just tightened those just a little bit. And you know what? It's probably going to make a world of difference already. Yeah, it's not rubbing. I mean, it's not great. It still won't be, but it's not rubbing anymore. And that was just doing 2 little turns each on the new spokes I put in. Now, obviously, this is way out of true, and we're going to work on it some more. Maybe if I spin it the other way. Yeah, let's see if you guys can see better. That definitely would be better for me. Yeah, okay, let's try that. You guys can see what's going on. Here's the adjusters. You can see a little better. Okay, that'll work. All right, I'll just pretend I'm a midget. Small person, sorry. All right, so we're going to crank these in a little. Okay, it's hitting right there. So a quick test is to grab spokes on this side and just crunch them a little with your hand. And you can see the wheel moving away from the adjuster. And you know that, hey, if I tighten these 2 up, it's going to stay like that, or at least get close. So we'll tighten these up. Now, right now, I have no idea where those spokes are I put in. And I don't really care at this point. We're going to work around this rim globally, like treating it like a planet. Not too tight on any of the spokes around here. Just kind of working your way around. So, okay, so we got it to do something. There's a big blip here. There's a big dent right here. And we're going to fix that. We're going to fix that dent with this bicycle research tool. I don't think you can even get these anymore. They're great. So there's a dent right here, and we're going to crunch it with this right now because I'm tired of it. Except we got to put it to the other. Yeah, it's in the wrong setting. I'm not going to crunch it right now. I'm going to adjust the tool. God, it's hot out here. It's like 95 degrees, feels like. Okay, so we're going to put this tool in the right setting. Yeah, that'll do it. Now I lost the dent, so let's find the dent. There's the dent. right there. Let's see if I can pop you around there. Yeah, there's a dent right here. And you know what? We'll just put a little red Sharpie on it. So we'll know when we spin it, there's a dent here and there's a dent here. There was a big curb hit probably. So 2 dents. So I don't know what happened there, but we're going to massage them in with my little tool. We'll massage him as an order. And I might even have to use my glasses on this one. All right. There's one there, one here. We got it in there. That's better. Still there, but not as pronounced. You'll never get things. You'll never get things perfect. Even from the factory, there was dents and weld marks, and it is a Schwinn rim and it's in good shape, but you're never going to get things perfect unless you like go to factory race teams that go to Tour de France and stuff, and they mill aluminum rims on huge lathes, and there's no weld marks. It's milled out of one piece. And yeah, sure, those things do exist, but just not in my world. Okay, so we got that dent out, and it's still jumping around like it's got a bunch of coffee in it or something, you know, drink a bunch of coffee in the morning. It's gyrating. Okay, we got a big scrape here. This whole section. And that actually, if you look right here, that's the mark. That was a new spoke. So that whole section is too far that way. But not to despair. We're going to tighten up the other spokes on the other side. And look, these are really loose. So there you have it. That was telling you that, hey, it's scraping on here, even though you put a new spoke in, it's too far that way. Well, you didn't even look at this spoke because somebody was off-roading. It's finger tight. Yeah, because some knowledgeable person was using their Schwinn in the off-road. All right, so we're going to tighten up that side, and it's going to pull it over a little bit. Wish I could get you a little closer. Let's see. Yeah, that's better. We're going to tighten up this other one, and it's counterclockwise. It's not left hand. It's not like other parts on the bike. Most spokes are all clockwise. They're not left thread. They're right-hand threads. So correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe somebody out there has some left-hand spokes, but I've yet to come across any, and I've been doing this a while. Okay, so we're going to tighten that up. And I can see right now it's actually going away from this little adjuster. And you hear that sound? That's a good sound. All right, we got it pulled away a little bit. We'll just double check this one. Oh, good sound. Really good sound for spokes. Okay, so it's pulled away. It's not touching this adjuster anymore. So now we're going to spin it, another spin, and we're going to kind of like, this is where the global thing comes in. You're thinking about how actually round is it. Locally is fine. Like we were doing a little local stuff, but when you spin it, it might go to another spot in the rim, and it usually does. Like the next thing we true will probably be over on the other side of the rim, way far away from this little red mark where our new spokes are. It's just the way it works. Like you tighten one part of it, and globally, somebody in, Brazil or somewhere, like this is America, well, Brazil's having problems. And, if you tighten up Saudi Arabia, well, then Russia's going to have problems up here. So just think of global. Maybe I should think of a different analogy there. Okay, so it's rubbing. It's rubbing over there now. Big. Actually, it's still rubbing on this side. And there's a big dent there. Where's that dent? I don't like that dent. Yeah, there's a dent. It's right here, I think. Yes, there's a dent right here. Well, I got rid of the dent, but it just made the whole thing tweak out. So me messing with it made stuff go somewhere else. I think what we're going to do right now is we're going to check the whole rim for tightness and then go from there. So we're going to go around here like that one's loose. Just feel them with your hands. Like this one's really loose. So we're just going to kind of tighten things up and then go back to the whole global spinning. Right now, we're just checking locally, like who has a problem here? Who is loose? That's way loose. It's probably finger tight. Look at that. And this is the rim I was riding on. This was a finger tight spoke. Okay. Oh, let me show you something real quick. So when you get a finger tight spoke and you're trying to make your bike look a little better or you're replacing some spokes, take it all the way out. Not the whole spoke, just the nipple. Kick that out of the way for a second. Take some very fine quadruple aught steel wool, and then you can shine in between the spokes. You'll never get that clean in there. You could go like this all day around here, you'd never get it. But when you can shine right over the spoke hole, it's going to clean it right up. There we go. All right, so a little lesson in cleaning. Good to know if since I did take the spoke nipple off, I'm putting some grease on there. That's just the way I roll. All right, so back in you go. Tech tip of the day. Put some grease on your spokes. Let's see how many minutes here. We're half hour in. I still haven't fixed the rim. More work, less talk. Well, we did fix the rim. We're doing the final true on it now. So we'll try to keep this about a half hour today, but might run a little longer. Okay, so we got that one in. All right, so we're just kind of working our way around and sweating profusely. And that one's a little loose. So we're not going to go the full distance and pull the spoke out and shine underneath it. We're just going to tighten it up a little. That, good sound, good sound. All right, so these all feel pretty good. There is a special meter. There's a special tool you can use that goes in between the spokes, and you do something and it tells you exactly what the tension is. And I don't have that tool. I got this and I got these. There's another way you can do it too, and I'll show you. So these all feel pretty good. The other way to try it, and you can do this on the bike too, not while you're riding it, of course, but you just take some plastic or a piece of wood and just knock it along there when you spin it. And when you get to the bad spoke, it'll go donk instead of ding. Like these all sound the right. Now, so if there's one that's really loose when you get to it, and I'll show you. Let's just say this one was really loose. It's right there. Here we go. Oh, see, it went from this to this. So that's just a quick way. Like if you wanted to test if it had loose spokes, not really to find them, but if they were there, you could turn the bike upside down and put a popsicle stick or pencil, not your finger, of course, and you could run it along there. And when you get to that dead spot, the tone will be different. So because the tension of the metal is different. All right, so we kind of got them all ready to go. Now we're going to go back up here to global land, and we're going to put a final true. As good as I can do it. Okay, there's a section right there. It's about 8 or 9 spokes worth. Okay, it's from there. It's about a quarter of the rim. And wouldn't you know it, it's right in the middle of where the new spokes are. So we're going to tighten all these outside spokes and maybe loosen these a little, but we'll see. So first we're going to go to this other side because this spoke is going up to this side of the hub, and we're going to tighten it up. We want it to move away from this adjuster. And here's the sound you want. Okay, that one's, there you go. You don't go more than a couple half turns. You don't do things hardcore with spokes. You just give it a little bit and go on to the next one. If you sit here and crank this down 4 or 5 turns, the spoke nibble is going to come right out of here and it's going to ruin the rest of the true of the rim if the spoke doesn't break. Good sound, good sound. Okay, so we're going to spin this, and hopefully we got that whole section to go over, and I know it's pretty close because I can see this adjuster here. There's space now. There's space right here. It was touching. So I can see it's not touching anymore. In fact, it's probably too far. That's that dent we didn't get out. That's really annoying me. Okay. Now it's better. Okay, so now we're gonna look at this side. Okay. Let's see. Good. Oh, you guys can see what's going on now. Okay, so I'm gonna crank this adjuster in over here. Okay, it's moving the whole thing right there. And that's nowhere to be found where we put the new spokes in. That's another whole area. So now we've transferred that whole problem from the USA to Antarctica. So we've got to think globally now. We got to make this come back over, but just a little bit, because we're going to mess with the USA again. So we're going to mess with Antarctica, but we don't want to mess with the USA. That's a better analogy. Okay, so we know it's touching right here. It's cranking this whole adjuster right over. So we're going to tighten these two like this, but just a little. We're not going to go hog wild. And on this one, we're going to have to loosen one of these, actually, which is that's the way it goes. That's good. Okay, we got it to move a little. And there's that annoying dent. There's one here too. Boy, this rim's really been through the ringer. We're gonna try to get this one out. Okay, we did good on that one. It's always a crapshoot using one of these. Like, if you crunch it too hard, this part makes the other side of the rim dent in. So you gotta kind of put it on there and kind of feel it to where this part's right on the dent and kind of move it in a little bit and use this as the fulcrum. But you don't want to go like this. If you go like that, it's just crunching the rim in a different spot. You got to kind of use this to smooth it over. It takes patience to use one of these, and I've had this a long time. I've used it many times. It's good to have. I don't know if you can get these anymore, but they're good to have. It's made by the Bicycle Research Company. I have no idea what this is for. Motorcycle tire? Getting it off? Whatever. Okay. Okay, we're left with basically dent removal. It's true. It's pretty true now. There's a slight up and down hop, which we might be able to get out. Up and down hop like this. But that's really not too bad for a really old bike rim. And there's some dents. But Did we make it better? Is it straighter to roll? Did we make it better is the question. And the answer is yes. We can mess with it a little bit more, and we will. We're rolling into 30 minutes here, 35. Let's do a little more truing, and we're going to call it. Okay, I see a little spot. Right there. So I know that that's rubbing right there. I'm going to kick it on this side, on these spokes, just a little bit, because it's pretty good right now. We don't want to overdo anything we've already done. I mean, let's not overthink it. Let's just tweak it a little bit, and we're just going to have to live with these dents. It's this, 40-year-old rim. People have been off-roading it and jumping it and stuff like that. I don't know who would do such a thing, but okay. So we know it has to go this way. Didn't really come over too much. So we're going to loosen this other side. And we're going to tighten this one. We're going to cuck it. It's going to go over that way, hopefully. And it did, just a wee bit. We're going to check locally, not rubbing. Now it went somewhere else, went to there. So we're just going to hit this one a little bit here and kick the rim that way. And I mean, when I say kick, I mean gently move it over to the direction away from that adjuster. Okay, we're going to check it locally. Better than it was. A little bit there. That could be that dent we've been chasing. And we'll give this one a little bit. Yeah, the spoke was a little bit loose. Okay, so we know we got it to move over. Okay, we'll check locally. And we changed the whole dynamic. Now it's all, the whole thing, the entire truing part went to this stem hole now. So we've done a pretty good job, but the entire part of the rim that's out of true right now went to this area. That's a good sign. That means you're kind of working through the kinks and working through the global part of it. Okay, so now we know we just got to hit these two a little bit to get that away from that adjuster. Bonk, like that. See, I'm pressuring with my hand and it's not touching, and now it's touching. But the key is just a little, and maybe even loosen this one up a little bit. Counterclockwise on that. Okay. And tighten these two, and it should kick it over, and it did. It kind of went further somewhere else. See, now we're back farther down, but that's okay. We're going to chase it. We're going to keep chasing it until it's the best it can be. Oops, wrong spoke. Wrong spoke. Okay, all that's left now is dents in the rim that you're never going to get out. Even with this special tool, you're not going to get those dents out of the rim. They're just there. They're there from little kids popping up curbs, from older kids doing jumps on their vintage bike. I mean, I can feel them with my hand, and I could close my eyes and show you a dent. There's a big one right here, but that's a weld mark. You're never going to get that out. Even Schwinn, even with all their greatness, even Schwinn couldn't get those out. They tried. there's still a little bit in there. There's a dent right here. I can feel it. Yeah, someone took a hit really bad right there. But I think I already mangled that out with my little tool. Oh, but that's a pretty big dent right there. Let's try to get that one out. We got some of it. Okay, so this is the end product right here. Not bad. And we replaced 2 spokes. We got some dents out. And that's a pretty good rim. There's some slight up and down hop, but like I say, this isn't the Tour de France. This is Tour de Faulkner. Okay, so it's a Schwinn script rim from the early 60s. I repacked the hub and put these safety nuts on the bearing cones so it doesn't, fall out of adjustment. And, to top it off, just to make things right, we're going to put this leather hub shiner on there. Don't you love these going tink, tink, tink down the road? Actually, I don't really like them. I'm just going to show you what these do. It's a piece of leather, has a little clip on it. On some hubs, they don't even work because there's a grease fitting here. Some of the older hubs, you can't use them because it hits the grease fitting and kind of knocks it off. They don't really work on 3-speed hubs. They only work on coaster brake hubs and front wheels with the dished, with the space that drops down big. And it keeps this out of the spokes. This might not even work. It might just jingle around too much, but we're going to put it on. And I'm going to show you guys what it does. Okay. It just sits there and shines the hub. It keeps your hub all shiny, so you don't have to reach in there with steel wool and shine it. But is it really necessary? No. Is it kind of a gimmick? Yeah. Oh, my bike has hub shiners. Oh, yeah. Okay, so guys and gals, this is how you repair a Schwinn S5 rim. You could repair any rim this way. No, it's not perfect. And yes, there is a weld mark right there. And that's most of the up and down hop. And you're never going to get that out. And I'll show you what I mean by up and down hop. There's a tool on here to show you. Okay, let me get it right here. Okay. See how it's hopping a little bit right there? It hops right there. And that happens to be pretty much where that weld is. Right there. Yeah. It should be pretty close to the weld. Oh, but it's not. Oh, that's where the dents are. Okay, so there's a big hop where someone hit a curb. And it happens. There's a little hop by the weld, and there's a hop where someone hit a curb. That wasn't me. Okay, so there was a spoke that's too long now, and we got to file that. Yeah, I'm glad I remembered. It's right there. That's way pokey, and that will pop your inner tube. And no magical miracle here. It's just me filing a very sharp, pokey spoke. So maybe we can get that in. So I'm running my finger on this. Ow, it's right there. Ow. So just to make sure, we'll go all the way. Make sure no other spokes are poking through. And no, the only spoke poking through is the one I put in that's slightly too long. Imagine that. Somebody messing up. Safety first. And maybe not getting chips on the computer would be good too. Yeah, let's go over here. You don't need to actually see the chips falling into the computer. So what I'm doing is I'm holding my thumb against the file. It's great, but that way you're not hitting the rim, and you're kind of guiding this little tiny file on the edge of a spoke. So you're kind of using your thumb to guide it on the, because otherwise, if you just go like this without your thumb there, it's not going to hit, you're going to be knocking off the edge of the spoke, and it's not going to work. Okay, so where'd that go? Well, let's find it again because it's the sharpest thing known to mankind. Oh, there it is. I found it. And yeah. And a file only takes metal off when you're going straight, into it. When you're pulling back, Japanese wood saws take wood away when you pull towards you, but most files, you're filing away from yourself, and that's what's taking the metal off. So you going like this really fast isn't doing anything. If you're going like this and putting your weight into it, this is better than going like this. But I want to get it done, and I'm going for it. Still sharp, still there. Almost. Okay. That's good. Yeah. So we filed that little sucker down, and that's the spoke that was wrong. Well, it was okay. It was right, but it was a little, well, let's just see. The difference was probably that much. And, that's not a lot, but it'll poke through the rim liner and poke into your tube, and then you're going to be walking your bike. Okay, so we got it. This baby's ready to roll. Not bad. Slight up and down hop. You're never going to get that out. Most of that is from the weld mark and from someone hitting a curb long ago. It's not a bad rim. I'm going to use it. Maybe not as hard as I did before. Okay, so yeah, that's it. And tune in next Saturday. I think we're going to jump a rally bike and ruin the forks because we can. I have a junk rally bike that I bought for $40 and stole all the parts off of and sold it on eBay. So we're going to put some junk wheels on that and jump it real high until something breaks. Okay. All right. See you later. Thanks for tuning in. The only channel that matters.